audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If on the other hand you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today's Tuesday, but you probably already had that figured out. 23rd day of April. Still 2019. All right, fair enough. Hey, welcome to the show. Big day. Making a run at the all-time historic high on the S&P 500 Emini Futures, and you're here to see it happen live in real time. Sometimes things are just awesome, right? Okay. Closing high on the S&P 500 E-mini using the continuous chart. The intraday high, 2947, and that was established on September 21st of last year. And the day before, we had the closing high of 2940 and a quarter. So we closed this day, this is a daily chart, 2940 and a quarter, spiked up to 47 on the 21st, but we never closed above this 2940 and a quarter. Current price, swing high, 2939.75. Ladies and gentlemen, but we haven't closed there, so that's important. That's why they call it the closing price, and in this case the closing high. So we'll have to be patient. We are just that intraday high put in on the 21st. We're about 7 points off of that. 7 points and a tick. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God... That's the end. Just thanks for joining, all right? It's an exciting day. It's been a good day. Hey, how about that Alexa? Did you listen? Oh, you got to hear this. It's getting better. It's a work in progress, but hey, it is what it is. Alexa, launch the Emini Daily Report.
You have S&P Emini Report enabled. Do you want to open it?
Yes.
Welcome back to the S&P 500 E-mini Daily Report. And now, from Studio A, this is Mr. D.
Welcome back, traders. Today is Monday, 22nd day of April, 2019. Time about 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Sunday night on the Globex Open, we opened at 2908.75. We then hit our alert trigger at 2913. Session high 2915.75. We sold off to 2901, And on the Globex Open tonight, Monday night, which begins the Tuesday session, we are right back at, guess where? That's right, 2913. You will learn important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So what are we looking for from here at 2913? We're looking for an initial rally to 2919. That's a 6-point move. Beyond that, on an extended move, if not during the Tuesday session, perhaps Wednesday, 2926 S&P 500 E-mini Futures. See you at the bell.
Thanks for tuning in to the S&P E-mini Daily Report. Be sure to check back tomorrow for the numbers that make you the smartest guy on the street. Any street. Looking for specific turn-by-turn directions? Take a free trial at apply.cfrn.net or call 949-42-E-mini. That's 949-42-E-MINI. This has been the S&P E-mini Daily Report. Signing off.
All right, let's go to Michael. He got a big road trip ahead of him, and I was supposed to have him on first. So here you go, Michael. Take it away.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. That is pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah. It's a work in
There was
progress.
something that you sent yesterday that I couldn't. The file, the MP3 file, I think is what it was. I couldn't open it up.
Oh, I was sending that to Val. I had it enabled to her email address.
Oh, okay.
It's just one of the Mind of a Trader episodes. That's all.
Okay.
If you want it, though, I'll send it with it enabled for you.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, it's all yours.
All right, here we go, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd day of April 2019. If you've not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page at CFRN.net, and over here in the right-hand column it says apply.cfrn.net. You click on that, you'll be brought to this page. All we ask for is your email, your first name, how you found us. Hit the submit button. Once you do that, you will be sent the confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, you don't know you took the trials. You got to click it. All right, the spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, we need 8 ticks in the euro, 8 ticks in gold, and 4 ticks on the ES. Put us at plus 180 on the morning session. Today it took 57 minutes and 6 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up 100 per contract. And we took a total of 7 trades. So on the month now, we're at 1335. That's over 16 days. And on the year, we are now at 7,787. That's over 70 days, averaging 111 per day. Okay, now, there was a lot of movement today, but a lot of it was in the pre-market. Once our markets actually opened up, we had a momentum long right there that we missed. Then we grabbed 8 ticks on this short right here. Then we had another short right here that would have been a break even had we gotten it, but we didn't. And then we get all the way over here to the end of the session. There was a long trade right here, a long trade right here, and one more right there. Okay, so there was, during the break, there was plenty of opportunity here in the gold. In the euro. See, the euro had a bunch of trade opportunities here in the morning session. And then we had break even there, and we picked up 8 ticks here, okay, on that short. We missed this momentum short here, and let's see, during the break, there was one long trade right there, during the break. Starting to set up another possible long right now. Crude oil, we had 2 break-evens on crude, one here and one here. And let's see, is that all that we had? Yeah, that looks like all that we had today on crude. Yeah, there was nothing else, nothing during the break either. The ES, on the ES, we had a long trade here, picked up a couple ticks, a long trade here, picked up a couple more. Pop out the question box. Okay. Then we went right up to this weekly trading zone without giving a trade opportunity. Well, the normal ones that we do in the room. There was a 164 right here, and I was pointing those out to everybody in the room this morning. Then we broke through that during the break. And there was along there, along there, along there. And then the cycle started going down too steep to go long anymore. But we are very close, as Dwayne said, to all-time new highs. Probably hit it today. I was thinking that as we went through this weekly trading zone this morning. It had just a lot of upward momentum. If you look at it on the 30-minute chart, that's what it looks like. Okay. So with that all being said, we can now go back here and go over the spreadsheet one more time. Today, we made 8 ticks in the euro, 8 ticks in gold, and 4 ticks on the ES to put us at plus 180 this morning. Took 57 minutes and 6 trades to get to the goal for the day, and we took a total of 7 this morning. So on the month, we're at 1,335, that's over 16 days, and on the year, we're at 7,787, that's over 70 days, averaging 111 per day. Okay, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page here at CFRN.net. Right over here in the right-hand column, it says apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that, you'll be brought to this page, where all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit the submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. Okay, you must click on the confirmation link. You must click that link. All right? All right. And with that, you can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. No, I do have the window open, though. It's a beautiful day.
All right. Recap of the recap.
Dwayne, if you are ready to take it back.
I'm ready. Recap of the recap.
Today, it took 57 minutes. Sorry. 57 minutes and 6 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 per contract.
That's good bingo.
Excellent. One more time. Alright. Val, you have to change your name in Google Webinar.
Why, what's up? So you ready to go to the beach?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Not exactly ready, but I'm ready.
You got your glasses?
I got glasses.
Got your blood pressure machine?
I got my blood pressure machine. I got my glasses. I got my blood pressure pills.
Got your cat?
No, we're not taking any cats.
Oh.
We're taking one dog.
Oh, you're taking a dog. Oh, I heard you earlier. I thought
Yeah.
you were talking about the cat. I was going to say, Mr. Rogers has nothing on you.
No, we're taking the dog. Yeah. She's a good rider. So, she's ready because we got a 5-hour drive right now.
Riders on the storm. Okay, okay, guys, if you aren't following the S&P E-mini daily report, just go to your computer, or probably the simplest thing to do is if you have an Alexa device, then that means you have an Alexa app on your phone. And with the Alexa app on your phone, you go to Things to Do, Skills, and then just search one word, E-mini. Will pop right up, E-mini Daily Report. Click on that. That will enable the skill. Yes, go ahead.
I still have the charts.
Yeah, I know. I'm not showing anything.
Okay.
I was just
I thought you were showing. You were showing something.
No, just on your Alexa connected, on your. you can't tell Alexa to enable the skill. That should come in the next generation, I would think, because the whole thing's about doing life with your voice. You don't have to get out of your chair anymore. You can say, you can tell Alexa to do all kinds of things, like the E-mini Daily Report. You can order pizza. You can link accounts. Like you can link your Domino account to your Alexa account, and then all you got to do is say, Alexa, have Domino's bring me my regular order. It just shows up. You don't even have to take your plastic out of your wallet. You only take the plastic out once. so you can store it securely on Domino servers, only to be hacked later, but that's another story, because the bank won't hold you liable as long as you spot it in time. So there you go. Next. Oh, last night's Emini Daily Report. You got to go listen to it. You know, it's a work in progress. Open to suggestions, comments. Still trying to get the sound proper, because there's a big audience out there. How many Alexa devices have been sold? Let me take the chart so you can, if you got to go, you can go. Okay. And okay. All right. All right. We'll. Oh, and for those of you not familiar with this song, Old Town Road. I know I told you this already, but there's probably different people in the audience today. Some different. This started out as a video game song, real popular by this guy, Lil Nas X, and some of you may remember Billy Ray Cyrus. His daughter was Hannah Montana. Now she rides on this wrecking ball thing. But I digress. This is part of a video. Oh, not that one. Oh, this is the live version. Ah, I see. The one I had on before. This is the video game version. The only thing that makes this interesting at all, and I'm going to tell you, how many Alexa devices sold? 100 million. 100 million people out there have the ability to now say, Alexa, launch Emini Daily Report. So, join the crowd. Nope, Alexa, stop. I didn't mean for you to actually do it, but she's always listening, and I know
Thanks
that freaks.
for listening.
You're
we
welcome.
hope to see you back tomorrow for another episode.
You're so polite. Thank you. All right. So, how many? 100 million. But that's a lot. There's a lot of zeros involved there. 9, I believe, to be exact. 9 zeros. So, a lot of people, and this was as of January 2019. Probably a few more now. Over 100 million. Amazon reports. That was January 6th. We'll go with that. 100 million, that's a nice round figure. So this is interesting. Oh, I got rid of it. Okay, fair enough. That video, that song is interesting because, again, it was created as a game show, as part of a video game. The kids play some pretty incredible games. You saw that visual up there with the cowboys. See, when I was a kid, we played Miss Pac-Man. Well, we played Pac-Man, and then as seniors in high school, we graduated to Ms. Pac-Man. That came out, and that was kind of the big deal. But to get these cowboys running around shooting each other, and this music in the background, I'm going to take my horse to the old town road. You got to listen to the lyrics. They're pretty funny. And this was never intended to be a quote-unquote country western song, but it broke out on the Billboard charts, country chart, and started to rise so rapidly it freaked a lot of people out, and they pulled it. They pulled it from the Billboard chart. No. This song doesn't belong here. Oh my goodness. Well, what about some of your other crossover artists? I mean, if the people like it, give them what they want, right? Oh well. All right, what are we looking for? We got a swing high here. 29.39.75. On the Sunday Emini Daily Report, we said that it appeared to be a foregone conclusion that the market was going to make a run at the all-time historic highs before a meaningful pullback. Well, here's the run. We're running and gunning. I don't see a lot of trouble, and I don't tend to be overly bullish and exuberant, but I just, this is so doable from here. To not do it, that might be of concern. So I think we'll spike above this 29.47, and that's just an opinion. It's not based on technicals or math or anything else. That's pure op-ed opinion. I think it might. Doesn't matter if it does or not. Last night on the E-mini Daily Report, we had, let me show you. I'll show you over here. Let's put this back. We'll look at it over here. Ha, what's that? Let's look. Remember that? Of course you do. Okay. We had said some days ago that this megaphone or bugle or whatever kind of pattern you call it, we're not really pattern recognition people, but sometimes you can't help but see something, and we saw it. And so now we just clipped through it. Now you notice we poked our head out down here last Friday, and then we popped right back in. We popped out, we popped back in. A leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement that didn't hold, right? Didn't hold. Leg, retracement held, a little tiny leg. Didn't hold. Held, held, and then here we are today. This is it. This is what you've been waiting for. The question now, and we've talked about this all along this journey, once we get there, whenever we get there, and it looks like today we may get there, then what? Does everybody just sit back, put their feet up, pat themselves on the back and each other? Well, I don't know. You better not pat each other on the back or you'll end up like Joe Biden. So just pat yourself on the back. It's safer that way. You know, that's a dollar store item. The back patter. Notice it's like a back scratcher, but it's softer. It's got a glove on it. So you can just pat yourself. All right? Very good. Okay, so on the E-mini Daily Report last night, well, going back to Sunday night over the weekend, we said 29.13 to 29.15, which we hit Sunday night on the open, right? 29.13 to 29.15. The swing high yesterday was 15 3/4, or the high of yesterday's session, the Monday session. And then as we get into the Tuesday session, it was the same number, 29.13, up to our weekly trading zone, well, just below it, 29.26. So it was a 13-point move, brought to you by the good folks at Amazon. Thanks, Amazon. All right, let's take a look. Or thanks, Alexa. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at the numbers from around the world. John, if he's coming, should be here shortly. Now, you're all going to want to Google that song up. You're going to want to listen to it 3 times, because the third time, there's something magical about the third time you listen to Old Town Road. You can't ever get it out of your head again. You'll wake up in the middle of the night singing that song, and you'll wonder why. Why, oh why? I don't know. It just is. All right. Numbers. I got them here somewhere. Okay, fresh data. Here we go. Cash market starting in the U.S. The Dow currently up 157 points. NASDAQ up 91. That's over 1%. S&P 500 up 24.5. That's almost 1%. And the Russell 2000 up 25, 1.5%. The Russell came back to life. Now take a look at this. Remember the other day we expressed some concern over this huge 30-minute candle, which took us down to this zone. Well, it's as if it never even happened. Yeah? Right. Okay. There it is. All right. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 81 cents today, trading 66.36 last. Gold down $3.40, trading 12.7420 last. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei gained 41 points, Shanghai lost 16, and the Hang Seng closed flat. Unusual for the Hang Seng. And in European markets, the FTSE gained 63 points on the session. It's almost 1%. The DAX was up 13 at the close, and the CAC gained 11. It makes it a mixed day in Asia, a green day in Europe, and it's a big green Radio Tuesday right here in the US of A. All right. There's John. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for the invite.
You betcha.
Well, we're sort of hitting new records today. We hit a new record on the NASDAQ earlier on, and we're actually accelerating higher, pulling back.
Yeah, I've got these numbers here using the continuous chart, John. At a closing high on the 20th of September at 29.40 and a quarter, and then an intraday high on the 21st at 29.47. That's on the E-mini. Now, that's the at ES, currently 29.35.75, 29.35.75. Yeah. So there, the ES. Go ahead.
On the current futures chart on the NASDAQ, we actually have hit an all-time high.
Yes, we have. There's the NQ. And let me go to a daily on this.
And remember, I said yesterday about the NASDAQ going over 8,000. That was a pretty big deal. So,
okay.
Could actually go up to about 8,800 from here on the NASDAQ. Yeah, I got to tell you, the fact that the market is actually up for the 4 months in a row in a very, you can almost see the months on that chart. You see each pullback, and then there's a month wrong. Then here we are in the 4th month now of the year, going gangbusters. And I mean, usually when you get towards the end of April, which we're at right now, the market tends to morph into May in a fairly convincing way, in a way that can shock you, actually. So that kind, and remember, we got the Fed meeting around about the beginning of the month. So
when's the Fed meeting?
Likely May the 1st, I think. This is like a Wednesday. I guess the 3rd. It looks like
May 3rd.
The wrong month.
Okay.
Hang on. The 1st. Yeah, it looks like a Wednesday. Looks like the Wednesday. Sorry, hold on a second.
Go ahead. Okay, in Q, we'll pull this back to a 30-minute. There we go. Let's see what the Concierge Trade Alert was last night. There we go. If you want to grab a screenshot from last night, go ahead. See on the NQ. Long at or above 77.51. Should be about right there. Close enough. 77.51. And the high so far 78.28. 78.28 minus 77.51. That's 77 points at $20 a point would be $1,500 per contract traded. That's if you do how to get out at the swing high. If you're like most people, you know. All people. No one does. Except like luck. Hey, John, go ahead.
Yeah. So one of the big deals going on today is Twitter. I was looking at Twitter yesterday, and it looked like a buy, and it's up about $5 and almost $6 today. I think Twitter is going to go for a bit of a run here. Also, you've got I mean the fact that Amazon and Facebook and Google in particular, Google is kind of the sleeper of this up move. Google is almost at an all-time high right now, and Microsoft has been making all-time highs. Also, remember I talked about Oracle a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
To go to all-time highs. It's clearly at all-time highs now, and I just did a quick check. I think Larry Ellison is almost worth $70 billion. So that's actually his highest net worth ever.
It's Oracle symbol?
ORCO. It's not screaming away yet, but it's look at that rally. I mean, it's an amazing rally from the lows. But
that is. And this whole run, John, there's this is weekly. Well,
yeah.
You got 2 red weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a very powerful move, and I think Oracle's going to go a lot higher still because they're pretty big in the cloud, and they claim to have a better cloud than Amazon and anybody else.
Really?
Yeah. And I looked at Carlos Slim's net worth a short while ago, and considering he was the richest guy in the world a while back for 3 years, Larry Ellison has overtaken him. Substantially. I think Slim is about 50, probably 60, 50, somewhere in 55 and 60 billion right now, and Larry's pushing 70. I don't think he's quite taken 70 yet, but it's heading up there. I mean, that's amazing because Oracle is not even a $200 billion company, and so he owns pretty much about probably a pretty good chunk of it anyway. So. A quarter, a little bit more than a quarter by the looks of it. So maybe a third, and he's it could be a contender. If Oracle were to go on a tear, it could even be a takeover target. You never know. It could look. It could go to 100. Can't rule that out. It's broken 50, clearly in the upper quadrant right now, and it may continue. Twitter broke out today. It's
TWTR.
TWTR, yeah. TWTR. I think Twitter's that's a pretty definitive breakout. Yeah, Twitter's a hard stock to trade because a lot of times it has a big move like this, and then it doesn't. Then it pulls back. This time it could be more like what happened in May. In fact, look at the. It's almost a year ago that Twitter broke out to an all-time high. And so, we maybe timing wise, it's time for Twitter to go higher. One thing you should realize is that a lot of people on Twitter today, the movers and shakers, I call them the elite. People who used to be like 20,000 followers, 25, 30, they're sort of 70, 80 now. There's a lot of people who used to be considered to be pretty big following, 20 to 30 or 40, who are now hitting 100 or higher. and that kind of, just builds the whole value, if you like. And Trump himself is just about to hit 60 million on his regular Twitter account. He's pushing 30, I think, on his POTUS account, and then he's got the White House on top of that. He's got well over 100 million Twitter followers combined. And, total social media now for Trump is certainly north of 150, possibly pushing a couple of 100 million between Instagram and Facebook and everything else. And all of this, helps the value. And I noticed a lot of new people joining Twitter in this year, just a huge number of new people. So that's another reason why the stock's, heading higher. Also, they're monetizing. I don't think their monetizing strategy is going that well because they've got various things that, you can pay Twitter for to get more followers and things like that. But I'm not sure people are really embracing those very well. But
you can advertise on the platform. You can pay for keywords. It's certainly a lot less expensive than Google.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite
I don't know that it's very effective.
Exactly. So
what it's effective for is when somebody pays, like one of these Kardashian, like Khloe Kardashian, as an example, they pay her $100,000 to send out one tweet about their product.
Yeah.
Oh, I love my new blankety blank hairbrush. That's it. That's all she got to do.
Yeah.
I think youngest female billionaire ever. I don't know if it was Khloe or her sister.
No, it's not Khloe.
It's not Kim. I think whatever younger Courtney.
Kylie. That's the one.
Courtney,
She's
yeah.
the one.
Courtney, right?
Kylie.
Okay. Amazing.
You're
Absolutely
showing your age.
amazing. This is huh? I'm showing my age. Okay.
Like the sort of tweenies that are following her.
Oh my goodness. But how old is this Kim Kardashian? I thought she was younger, but I saw something the other day that said she was 40.
Kim is pushing 40, I think, maybe even more. Kylie's only 21, I think, kind of 21, 22, something like that.
Okay.
Youngest billionaire ever, I think. This is pretty impressive, the way the Russell has come back here.
I know. It's like this never happened.
Yeah. We were talking about that yesterday, if you remember, and the fact that that's really, really. I think it's what I was saying yesterday. The economy we've never had an economy like this. That's so. Well, first of all, it's as broad as it is. Look, and by the way, a peacetime economy, because. To be fair, World War II economy, the last couple of years of World War II were, unprecedented in terms of industrial production and growth.
Unfortunately, war is good for the market.
Yeah,
and the economy,
especially World War II, where they were, it was a matter of survival, and they had to they were building ships faster than they could sink them. When they were building Liberty ships in 3 days, 17 hours. And building 10,000 planes a month. I mean, that's the might of the U.S. productive machine. But today, the broadness of the economy is just, beyond imagination. And the fact that you've got these, a company like Google that is just has just money for old rope. They're just guaranteed to make money every day, just because of the lock they have on the space. The search. And the advertising and all the other things they're doing, it's just it's an incredible place to be. It's an incredible company because a lot of it is automated. I know that there are a lot of people working for them, but a lot of them is automated, and it just keeps on churning out money. And I think that's why Google's hitting all-time highs today. And in a way, Microsoft is getting a bit of that, because Microsoft, remember, has been going around for 33 decades now, practically, and I would say Microsoft, with this new guy at the helm, he's very lean and mean. I think Microsoft is a pretty well-oiled machine these days, very, very well automated. very cost control, you know, and they've got a lock on the software, you know, that doesn't look like it's, I mean, there's been a few challenges here and there, but in the larger scheme of things, Microsoft is in an incredibly dominant position and is likely to continue for some time to come. And then you got Facebook, which I think is the big upside surprise actually here in the next few days, with Amazon as well, possibly. Maybe Amazon has been beaten down, you know, more than it deserved. Remember, it got hit pretty hard back in December, and it's a good way off the highs right now. But when you look at what happened with Mercado Libre in Latin America, MELI, and how that's making, you know, outperforming Alibaba, outperforming Amazon in a massive way, that certainly speaks volumes as to the strength of the Latin American economy. So the one problem today is the dollar's a bit higher, and that is, you know, that look, where the dollar may, in spite of going higher today, may be living on borrowed time, because on our timeline, you know, we're possibly 20 days away from a dollar peak, and that could be very significant, because the best thing that could ever happen to this economy right now and to this market is for the dollar to start going down, because that's going to push stocks even higher, and that may be what's coming in the next 3 months. I mean, it looks like we're going to have the mother of all summer rallies this year. And it could be, and look, right where we are today, you know, we're a year, probably a year and a quarter, year and a half from the election. You know, just based on the economic momentum, where the stock market is at all-time highs today, you know, the economy probably wouldn't start getting into trouble a year hence, unless something really terrible happened. So the longer this advance, if this advance can last into the summer or into the fall or even into the end of the year, I mean, it's almost like case closed for Trump, because as I said yesterday, you know, every you know, 5 million new jobs, you know, Trump. One of the most interesting things that probably hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but Levin had this interview with this guy who is founder of the Walk Away movement from the Democrats, and this guy was 100%. I mean, this guy's a Trump hater in the extreme, 100% negative Trump. I mean, just absolutely, you know, indoctrinated in that view. And, you know, he kind of had an epiphany and started realizing that all this, you know, hatred against Trump was all a hoax, you know, it was all kind of just the Democratic fervor. And he founded this Walk Away movement. And I mean, he's got millions of members now. And he's a big deal. And he is a personification of what's happening on a multi-million scale in terms of people who just had it with the Democrats. And not only that, you know, with people like Candace talking about, you know, exposing all the Democrat lies and all this, you know, how they come around every 4 years looking for the black vote. And I mean, I saw a poll yesterday, Hispanics, 50% approval rating on the Trump and the economy. I mean, that's gigantic. And if you remember, I said right after the election, job one for Trump is to gain the Hispanic and black vote, and he's not doing too badly on that front. And you know, I mean, listen, I don't know whether anybody watched the 4 or 5 candidates last night, but I mean, give me a break. You know, they just don't have a chance against Trump.
Who do you think will end up being the Democratic candidate?
Well, it's probably going to be Biden, because, you know, he's just, you know, he's the shoo-in, and it's just the way the world works.
Well, he's postponed his announcement now, so
yeah.
I'm starting to think it's going to be Bernie Sanders.
You know, Biden should have been the natural successor to Obama in the last election, but Hillary, you know, rigged the game against that. So Biden's turn has come, and I honestly I don't think Bernie's too extreme. This Buttigieg guy, I mean, forget about it. This he's very wet behind the ears. He's just an upstart, Beto's kind of almost fallen by the wayside already, and. Listen, he's probably one of the better speakers of all the contenders right now, so that's why he's gaining, and he's quite, he's definitely quite a sharp kid, but he's young, he's very young, and he doesn't have the depth, he doesn't have the experience. Listen, could he be a contender in the future? Yeah, it definitely could be. But this is just kind of a dry run for him, as far as I'm concerned. And he may get to the final 3 or 4. I don't think Kamala Harris, even though she's got a very high opinion of herself, really has much of a chance. I think that she didn't perform very well yesterday. She's just not convincing, and people, she just doesn't have it. So the field, look, it's gonna, all these guys who are joining, I mean, they'll be dying on the vine before you know it. Half of them be gone within 6 months, because they won't be raising the money, and they'll just run out of gas.
If Biden backs out, I think Bernie will take it. And if Biden does go ahead, then, because he was supposed to announce tomorrow officially, but they postponed it, I heard. But if he does go through with it, then I think it'll come down to him and Bernie. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I watched this Bernie Sanders the other night. It was a town hall on Fox. And I never really listened to him before because I already knew going in. We didn't agree on much, nothing. But I listened to him, and he makes a very convincing and compelling argument for the things that he believes in. And I put myself in the shoes of all these college kids out there. They're really... Remember back when MTV first came out? I'm trying to remember which election it was, but they came out with that Rock the Vote. They were really encouraging young people to get out and vote. Was that when Bill Clinton got elected?
Probably.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Anyway.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I'm just saying they're really pushing to get not only young people out there, but undocumented folks, folks in prison. They want to give them the right to vote. Now, that's not going to happen for this election, but I mean, these are the things in the win, and this is what the young people are being taught in the colleges and universities across America. They're being taught this specific agenda. When polled, I think more than 50% of them said that they think it would be better for us to have a socialist economy than a capitalist economy. I mean, how narrow is their view?
That's what Bernie's.
You want to be Venezuela? You want to be Cuba?
They're promising you the world to get the votes. That's all it is. Unfortunately, a certain segment of the population is going to fall for that. Hopefully, not too many. But the real people who understand the real world are going to be voting for Trump because they're going to say, he's done an incredible job with the economy and a lot of other things, especially if he gets this Chinese deal, and he may come up with a lot of surprises. And look, immigration, in spite of all the drama, is still number one priority right now. So it's amazing how the anti-immigration theme was so prevalent in 2016, and it's gone from deporting to tolerance. I mean, Trump is almost.
Well, it's gone much further than tolerance. It's gone to embrace.
Precisely. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it's amazing, and Trump actually, compared to Obama, is somewhat saintly because, I mean, Trump has only got rid of the bad, the people with a criminal record, or who are under, or charged with a crime. He really hasn't deported anybody else, from what I can tell. Maybe some, but not too many. Whereas Obama, he deported 3 million people or more, and I think that was just in the last. So Trump hasn't done anything like that, but he's definitely got rid of a lot of the bad elements, which hasn't really gotten any praise for. So, but that whole pendulum could swing back the other way in the next. Because by the way, even in Mexico, they're starting to get tired of these immigrants now. They arrested more than 500 people yesterday out of one of these, stopping these caravans. So things are maybe changing, and I think that the whole look. What they have to do with this asylum thing is that they've got to say if you step foot inside Canada, it doesn't give you the right to claim asylum in the U.S. If you come up from Honduras into Mexico or Guatemala, you have to file for asylum in Mexico, not the U.S. I mean that'll fix the problem pretty quick, one part of it at least. And then it's just a matter of, if somebody comes in by air, which is quite hard to do, and claim asylum, it's certainly going to fix the asylum part of it pretty quickly, because that's the whole driving force behind this current invasion of people, which is, they're basically taking advantage of this system. So, and also, there's an element, whoever, whether it's Soros or whoever it is that's funding all this, and putting out adverts in Honduras saying, go to America, it's like the streets are paved with gold, and they're handing out, houses and everything else.
Right.
People are buying it. You think, to be fair, people making a 2,000 or 3,000 mile trek is no small, undertaking. Especially when you've never done it before, it's a pretty big deal. So
it is.
When I was a kid, I was sent to boarding school, and back in those days, it probably wouldn't happen today. But I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I'm traveling on my own, halfway across the country, and I used to sort of, I would take trains and buses, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and saying, why me? What did I do to deserve this? Why can't I stay at home like everybody else? But it's tough. It's tough being thrown into an environment where you have to kind of deal with strangers. It's like going to kindergarten for the first time. Most kids cry their eyes out when that happens. So
yes, indeed.
Yeah. So, in a way, these people who are making this trick probably don't know what they're in for, and there's a lot of people who never made it. So, it's not without a lot of risk. And they don't have the train thing. Nobody ever talks about this anymore. But the trains don't carry. I don't believe the trains carry people anymore. I think they've kind of put a stop to that. And because the trains...
But there's no passenger trains in Mexico now?
Well, there are very few, but it's mostly freight. But
we took a train many years ago when my wife and I first met. A lot of years ago.
The one in the canyon, right?
From what's the port of entry?
Copper Canyon.
No, there's a port of entry in Arizona.
Penasco?
Not Nogales. No, not Nogales, but the other border town south of Tucson. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Anyway, we went there, the south of Tucson, crossed the border. Is that Nogales? Is it Nogales? Yeah.
Might be.
That's it, Nogales, yeah. We went to Nogales, caught a train there, and rode it all the way to Mazatlan.
That'd be a nice ride.
Oh.
That'd be a good trip.
One of the nights, I think it was like a 2-day trip, because you stop in every little town along the way, and the people come on, they got things to sell. But at night, there was this most incredible display of lightning and thunder. There was no rain, but the sky was just, I've never seen it so lit up, so electrified. It was really something to see. And we just sat out on the caboose, on the back of the caboose, and just watched it. We had a little sleeping compartment in there. It's pretty crowded, but we had one, and it was so inexpensive. Again, this was 30-something years ago, but I think our round trip ticket on that train was like $25.
Uh-huh.
And I've heard that train doesn't run anymore, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, a lot of the trains have kind of, I believe, are, it's the roads, the buses on the roads is the way people go these days. But the trains, somebody told me that most of the trains in Mexico now are run by the U.S. train companies, Kansas Southern and people like that. And I think they've gotten this ridership by people under control finally, and they may be making a lot of money out of it because we were talking about the railroad index being so strong yesterday. Maybe they're getting the benefit of transport in Mexico as well.
I'm looking here, John, if you can see it on the screen. The train from Nogales to Mazatlan on Lonely Planet. This was back in 2011. Now, here's a bus ticket for $96. That'd be a long bus ride. It's not bad on the train. But rail, this was last post was 2013, 2009. I'm going to guess that doesn't happen anymore. Anyone know of a train? Give me a passenger train. I don't think there are any left in Mexico besides the Copper Canyon Tourist Train, which you just said.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Now there's where somebody with some money could come in and do something extraordinary because the tracks are still there.
Mm-hmm.
You could be like Jim West, remember?
Well, I think they're going for the high speed now.
But this could be an old beater. You could just buy an old beater train because all people want to do is they want to ramble across the countryside. They're not in a hurry to get there because half the trip is the trip. So,
yeah, this new president's got a plan to put a high-speed train from Cancun all the way down the Mexican Riviera. The Yucatan. Tulum, all down there, the Aztec sort of part of Mexico, and there's stopping at all the hot spots for tourism. I think it's a pretty good idea, actually.
Hey, check this out. I was curious today how many Alexa devices have been sold. More than 100 million.
That's amazing.
Now that's a lot. 100 million people have the ability. Well, that's just considering there's only one person in each household where there's an Alexa device, right? I mean, my whole family we have Alexas around the house, and the whole family uses them. 100 million Alexa devices. 100 million people minimum who can say, launch Emini Daily Report, and there it is. Did you listen to that file I sent you?
Not yet. No, sorry.
Yeah, you got to click on it and listen to it. But that's what comes out of. Here, I'll let you hear the beginning of it. Alexa, launch Emini Daily Report.
Welcome back to the S&P 500 E-mini Daily Report. And now, from Studio A, this is Mr. D.
Welcome back, traders. Today is Monday, 20.
That's pretty quick.
Thanks for listening. We hope to see you back tomorrow for another episode.
Thanks.
Nice job.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. No, that's
100 million people. I mean, I went to market in front of 100 million people. Not exactly overnight because I get sidetracked, but it could have been overnight. When and where in the world can you go to market in such a creative and innovative way overnight and position yourself in front of 100 million people? Now the only thing left to do is to make those 100 million people aware that they have this capability sitting right in front of them. Now, of course, out of the 100 million, only a certain portion trade E-mini futures or care about the S&P 500 index, but you get my point. They're there. It's the pipe's already laid. I just got to tell people to turn on the faucet.
We're only 12 or 13 points away from an all-time high in the Nasdaq right now. The actual Nasdaq itself, maybe 15 points. Call it 15 points. So
what are you looking at that on?
on my system,
Let me see what
COMPX,
I've got here.
Nasdaq composite.
Okay.
No, I know the futures are gone.
Yeah,
The fact that the
futures have
futures
gone.
are leading the way is very positive. But I was talking. Remember, this is the futures on the 100 top Nasdaq companies.
Right,
The composite
Right.
is all of the Nasdaq companies. So it's a pretty broad read. Can you get the NDX on there? I haven't looked at the NDX today, but that probably is the same. Maybe the NDX already got there.
Well, here I can certainly bring it up.
Yeah, the NDX has already gone to a new high. So
NDX, there you go. That's on a weekly.
yeah.
Yeah, it shows
Really doesn't look like it's going to stop, does it? It just does. Really,
yeah, so now we're at the now what page?
yeah, every dip. I mean, that dip yesterday, got turned around pretty quick, and look at where we are today. We're more than 100 points high, well over 100 points higher, about 140 points higher already off that dip from yesterday. So, the grains, boy, we're in a. I mean, you know what? It's just like what we were saying yesterday about this climate change. There's a lot of benefits to climate change as well as setbacks, alleged setbacks. How do you explain the greatest bumper crops of all time? And today, just like never before. And I think the world produces more food than it ever has in history. It's just a lot of baloney, this stuff. They keep going on about the ice. I mean, how can you tell that there's less ice than, we're not even coming unfrozen in some parts of the north yet from one of the most devastating winters ever. The way the people go on about stuff is just unreal.
It really is. But where from here? That becomes the big question.
Yeah.
And on the NQ, this is daily. I mean, there has not been a significant pullback this whole trip. I mean, we've pulled back to the BBC on a few occasions, whereas on the S&P we did not. But on this daily chart, after liftoff on December 26th, we caught a leg and a retracement to the BBC, another leg, another retracement, another leg, another retracement. But on the S&P, we only caught this one and this one most recent. We pulled back to the BBC, but now this last leg up that we're on right now, we've not pulled back. I mean, this is what you would expect at historic all-time highs.
Dwayne, this thing. When you look at that V bottom there, measured move. You talk about, from 20. We've gone from 2,400, 2,350 actually, 2,320, all the way to so what? That's a 600 points. Is that right? Yeah, more than 600 points. We might go up another 600. I think we're going to go up 300 points from here for sure. But the measured move suggests 600 points. So I wouldn't rule anything out. I really wouldn't rule anything out for these markets on the upside. We may be looking at something that just has never been experienced before. Where, remember, before this pullback, people were talking about 2,500 for Amazon. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And 130 for Microsoft. We're almost there already. Google, back to where at the moment. I think forget what the forecast was for Google. 1,500, I think, for Google was one that was pushed out. So 30%, 15 to 30% higher from here is definitely possible. But look, we may get a bit of a pullback, but given the way that the markets dealt with everyone so far, one would think that this trend is going to continue. The only thing that not even I was looking at the bonds this morning. They still haven't broken down the bonds. They've had this pullback. The bonds are kind of key in a lot of ways, because if the bonds start breaking, say 146, 145, and basically saying the economy is getting stronger, that might cause a little bit of a pullback initially in the stocks, but ultimately might be very bullish for stocks, especially if the dollar goes down. So, and remember, I can't believe I'm looking at this. Remember when we talked about the SOXL, the SOX, when it was breaking up from the 90s?
Right. The SOX? SOX?
SOXL.
SOXL?
Yeah.
There we go.
Look at it. It's this. I think these semiconductors are going to go parabolic. They just look. And put up the LABU for a minute. I think the LABU might have put in a low here yesterday. It's yesterday.
LABU. Here we go.
Yeah. That could actually turn out to be a very bullish. Sometimes when you get a bit of a pull down like that, it happened to Facebook a month or two ago, and then it starts breaking. Once that thing starts breaking out about 70, it could really go for a run, and it could join the party. As we said the other day, this rally has excluded this index largely.
All right. Hey, John, on that, I'm going to put the charts on the site right after the show here. So I'll email you once I'm done.
Okay, great.
All right. And by the way, we had talked about embedding Telegram. Telegram is not user friendly in that way. So I'll take a look at some other things.
Okay, great. By the way, check out SOXX.
SOXX. Here we go.
That's the the other Philadelphia Semiconductor ETF.
Mm-hmm.
It's been making new highs for about a week. So it's leading the markets higher in a very dramatic way, actually.
Yeah, it's just very bullish.
I think, let me just check. Yeah, it's I think this index is absolutely making all-time highs by any measure. All-time record highs.
All right, John.
So, listen, thanks very much. Yeah, no, that's okay. Thanks a lot. Have a great afternoon.
All right, watch out for my email here in about an hour, and
okay,
and then we'll go from there.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. Good word for the day. Now, let me show you one last thing before we go to the good word for the day. Okay. The Emini Daily Report last night said consider being long 29.13, 29.26. Okay? All right. 13 points. Who doesn't love that? I think it said 13 to 19, then 19 to 26. Okay, so 13-point move. But somebody's all hung up over this. What? Okay. I've showed you this a number of times, and I'm happy to show it to you again. Oh, and remember, we are bumping up against that trend line. This trend line. That we put in place back on one of these days right here. Because we had to be able to connect it here and here. We tested it here, popped out last Friday, popped right back in, popped out, back in. We'll see what happens. But on that move from 29.13 to 29.26, there we go. Okay. Target. Everybody loves a target, right? Sure. Hit my target. Yay. Okay. But keep in, let's talk risk reward for just a second. You hear that a lot. Oh, you got to have the right risk reward. Well, you do. It's true. The only problem is when folks talk about that, they tend not to talk about the fact that the risk is a known entity, known factor. Yeah? Whatever you choose to risk, that's carved in stone. If you're not one given to slipping your stops and moving them around and all these other kinds of things, or not using one at all. See, that risk is carved in stone. When this thing took off from 29.13, yeah, everybody certainly hoped they would get to 29.26 because that was the target. I'm doing air quotes here because this is radio, right? The target. Okay. So I got to the target. Now look at that 30-minute candle. Does that look like a healthy 30-minute candle? Does it appear to have purpose and destiny in its step? Does it just kind of seem, yeah, I know this is after the fact. This is a historic chart. Anybody can seem like a genius, right? Okay, but just work with me. Why you want to get out of that? I mean, you got in right. Why not get out right? Well, isn't that right? It's the target. Okay. Here's a little secret. Nobody, not even your most trusted guru, knows what's going to happen next. Most won't admit it, but the best anybody can do, man or machine, is to have an idea of what the high probability thing is that's going to happen next, right? Did we think it was a high probability that we could go from 29.13 to 29.26? We did, right? There was a very high probability that we could go to 29.19 and additionally to 29.26, okay? So how could a person possibly stay in something like this? Because let's face it, this thing went another 13 points, right? 13 to the target, and then it did another 13. How could someone possibly stay in an extended move like that? No exit signal. That's how, right? Here's what's happening. Price is starting to walk sideways. The next thing we're going to look for is for this step line right here. See the step line? We're going to look for it to hook right and actually cross the CFMA1. You see how it hooked left and walked left and walked, left and walked, left and walked. At some point, it's going to hook left right across that CFMA1. Once it does that, then you're going to look for the first red candle to close below the step line after it crosses. It's got to cross first, and the first red candle to close below. That's probably going to get you out. Well, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen next. We'll have to wait and see what that probably means, right? Now, using the exit signal, which will only work on an extended move. If you got a little short 2-3 point move, it's not going to show up. But on an extended move, it absolutely, positively will. The first indication that you might be heading for an exit signal, price starts to walk sideways. Okay, got a nice boost. That's sideways, up, up, up. Now we got 2 candles into this sideways business. We open, if the next candle opens up, what's it going to do? It's going to pull that step line across the CFMA1. Then you're just looking for a red 30-minute close below that step line. It's not going to get you out at the swing high. Nothing can. Let me repeat. Doesn't matter how much you pay for it, nothing can, because no one knows that it's the swing high or the swing low until after the fact, right? Okay. So maybe it gets you out at 34. Yeah, I'm just pulling numbers out of the air here. Maybe it gets you out at 33. Well, that's still another 7 on top of the 13, right? Been a long time since we had an extended move, so it seems. You know, I should show you just. Oh, remember this? Yeah, you guys remember this chart. Ground sideways, got a leg up, ground sideways. It was all the way back to the beginning of April. Look at that sideways nastiness, right? That's at 28.77 back to first of the month. Well, goodness, we're only at 29.35 now. It took a long time to get here by melting up, as some would call it. We started doing the sideways hop over here. Remember these? And we spent a whole week between 2 zones. That was creepy. Now, let me open this up and show you what I set out to show you. Come on. There we go. All right, well, here's an example. You get the idea. That's all I wanted, was just to give you the idea. Okay. All right. You see this big extended move here, and this is huge, but you can see it clearly. See how price stays on the left side. Now, look here at the step line. It does cross, right? But do we have a red candle closing below it? No, no, no. No. Okay, step line definitely crossed here. I mean, it crossed here and here and here, but this is the first red candle to close below it. So if you had been, I don't know, given an entry at 27.97 and you had a target up at 28.08, well, you'd feel pretty good about that. I would, right? But why get out here just because it's a It's the result of lots of research, number crunching, and it's a number pulled out of the air, right? You know, of course, you arrive at this number for a reason. It's a target for a reason. There's a reason behind a target, a good target anyway. But you need to understand beyond the target. If you're using a fixed risk, and you need to unhitch your target on an extended move. Now again, on a 2-3 point hop, this isn't going to serve you so well, but you can see how it serves you here. Look at those moves. The land of giants. What else we got? There's another one. You know, price walking up, walking up, walking up. Oh, it crosses right there. You get an exit signal. Get you out of the high? Nope. But it got you out at better than, you know, whatever the target might have been. Whatever that was. Okay? All right. If you don't understand exit signals, and you're a partner or a passport holder, book a mentoring session. I'll be happy to go over it with you. And if you're not a passport holder or a partner, book a mentoring session, and I'll be happy to tell you what that's all about. Okay? Okay. Well, all right then, as they say, good word for the day. That's what I say. Y'all ready for this? Yesterday we began talking about, taking some time to reflect. Just cool your heels. Be here now. Ecclesiastes 7:14. In the day of adversity, consider. The digital age, as we know, has great advantages. Through emails, texts, and tweets, we communicate very quickly. The disadvantage is that it doesn't cultivate in us a desire to think about things deeply. When's the last time you sent a deep tweet? You can't microwave personal growth. It requires a slow cooker. The Bible says, in the day of prosperity be joyful, but in the day of adversity consider. Surely God has appointed the one as well as the other. What? Well, think about it. Do you believe God created everything? That's a yes or no question. You either do or you don't. In the day of prosperity, be joyful, but in the day of adversity, consider, surely God has appointed the one as well as the other. So, your prosperity, we can all nod our head and go, yeah. But our adversity? By taking time to reflect, you gain confidence in decision making. If you ever made a snap decision and later wondered if you did the right thing, of course, we all have. Reflective thinking can help to diffuse that doubt. It also gives you confidence for the next decision. Once you've reflected on an issue, you don't have to repeat every step of the thinking process when you're faced with it again. Oh, we're going to come back to that. You've got mental road markers from having been there before. You're in a trade. Something happens. Whatever. Do you act instinctively because you've been there before? Or do you repeat every step of the thinking process over again? Every time you put on a trade, is there a mental war going on inside of you? Pushing and pulling. Do I use a stop? Not use a stop? If every time you put on a trade you have to suffer mental anguish, then you can fix that. Make the decision once and repeat it. Okay, when I'm confronted with this, I do this. So in the heat of the battle, imagine you're on the set of Nightfall. If you haven't seen Nightfall, it's pretty good. It's on the History Channel. You're swinging your broadaxe, you're in battle, you're up to your eyeballs in Knights Templar, or the other guys, and all of a sudden you have to ask yourself, now, wait a minute, which side of the broad axe do I hit with? You're out. Down and out, right? In life, in trading, you'll encounter these same things again and again and again and again. Just get the noise out of your head. Put it on paper, somewhere it won't disturb you. And then reflect. Okay, this happens all the time. Every time it happens, I got to go through this laundry list of, okay. Why not make a decision and just stay with it? Everybody wants consistent results from the market, right? But how many of us actually bring consistent effort to the market? If you understand that this is a business based on probabilities, then you have to start to put those probabilities to work for you. And if you don't yet believe that it's a business based on probabilities, someday you will. Or you'll walk away. It's the only solution. Right? Okay. So whatever these things are in life, you come out of Kmart. You find a wallet lying on the ground. Do you wrestle with that? I hope not. I hope you just pick it up, turn around, go back in the store, give it to a manager, check his ID, I don't know, something, and you don't have a problem, you don't have an issue, right? You do the right thing. Why? Why do we do the right thing? Because it's right. And so whatever your work, your research, your methodology has taught you in trading, that, okay, when you encounter this is the right thing to do. You don't have to second guess yourself. You don't have to wrestle with yourself. When you see it, do it. Won't always be the correct answer, but that's okay. There is no 100%. There is no perfection. You're going to get stopped out. The market's not going to do what you thought it was going to do from time to time. And there's no man, machine, indicator, or oscillator that can change that. So rather than trying to change the rules to a game that you can't change, why not learn the real rules? The set of rules that will set you free. Once you've reflected on an issue, you don't have to spend, and this is life too, not just trading. Once you've reflected on an issue, you don't have to repeat every step of the thinking process when you're faced with it again. You've got mental road markers from already having been there. You've been there, done that, just do it again. And do it again. And do it again. And it didn't work that time. Okay. And do it again. Probabilities. By taking time to reflect, you also clarify the big picture. Reflective thinking encourages us to go back and spend time pondering what we have done and what we have seen. To keep from making the same mistake over and over, you must stop and examine the process that led to it. In other words, reflection helps you to see the big picture in life and in trading. And last, by taking time to reflect, you take a good experience and make it a valuable experience. They say we learn by experience. Actually, we learn from evaluated experience. An experience becomes valuable when it informs and equips us. That's why daily prayer and Bible reading are so essential. You'll understand things in God's presence that you won't understand any other way. And that's our good word for the day. Tim, you asked a question about copper there. Let me take a quick look. Well, oh, I had put a comment in the chat box this morning. I guess that's what you're referring to. I said copper looks to be setting up for a short. It is. Now, what we would like to have seen is for price to come up, hit the BBC, and start down. I would have loved to have seen this be a red candle, but it wasn't. It was a small, by comparison, it was a small-bodied green candle, which morphed into a red candle. Now we're still hugging the BBC. We're still below it, but a couple things have changed. That and that. You see, as this turns blue and heads up, that becomes potential support. And if we're going to go short, we're not looking for any support. We'd like to be able to take this thing from 289 down to 288. Better yet, 289 quarter down to 288 quarter. That's $250 per contract traded. Okay. Copper. 1 penny move, 289 to 288, or 289 half to 288 half. It's $250 per contract per penny of movement. Okay. Now, here's the thing about copper. Let's look at Globex. Let's go back to 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. London Open. Actually, we had some pretty good volume heading into. This is off. Yeah, look, off the Asian session. That 30-minute candle right there has got 1,800 contracts, 1,200 contracts, 650. 1,500. Then it gets a little quiet ahead of the Wall Street Open. But as we come into Wall Street, look at those numbers. So copper's liquid. I mean, it's not the S&P, it's not crude, it's not gold, but it is copper. Now, as to your question, Tim, what do I think about this? Well, I gave you my version of what would have been perfect. We hit it. Now, please understand the difference. Now you go, well, you got a red candle right there. You got a down close. Yeah, but I just, in my perfect world, all right, that I keep trying to build, I wish it had come here. Because if it had come here, possibly this doesn't happen, or this doesn't happen, or by the time they do, you follow me on that? So does that mean you can't go short here? No, it doesn't. 28,915 to 28,815. Yeah. If you're looking to take a full penny out of it, it gets tight. Okay. Now, am I saying that this can't power through that? No, it can. It can come right down, slice through it like it's not even there. Let's look at some examples. Okay. That'll work. There was a bullish cross, a leg, a retracement to the BBC, an up close, and then this thing went from about 296 to 299. So that's a $750 per contract move. And then we crossed back below. Bearish cross, price pulled away. And you see how this just hugged the BBC like we got going on over there? And this was, but this stayed, this was red. It never turned blue. Over here, okay, you got the pullback, then the up close. This stayed blue in both places. It never turned red on you. Ah. Okay. Oh, here's that sideways walk, guys. Exit signal. right? This would be the exit signal right here. Okay, not the swing low, but when you see the sideways walk start, if you're in a position, you need to think about protecting it. It's a 30-minute chart, so you don't have to fall all over yourself, but give it some attention. So then price pulls back to the BVC, hugs it. It does get through that. You see blue and climbing? It gets through it. Doesn't go very far. And at the same time, this is blue, and then right here, this is crossing the 50. That should turn that thing around. Does it? No. Bearish cross. Price pulls away, price pulls back, down, close. And we go from 291.50 down to 290.50. Another pullback. So Tim, you have to make a decision. If you want to monitor this down to here, knowing that when it gets here, or if it continues to go sideways, this is going to rise to meet it. Now there's a difference, but I won't go into that right now. You know, we're heading in, well, I'm not sure what hours copper trades. Well, it's traded around the clock at the pit session, if they still have one. I have to look that up for you. All right, I hope that helped, Tim. I didn't mean to cause confusion, but I just wanted you to understand why I don't like it as much as I liked it when I posted that when we were pulling up. So, of course, in my mind's eye, I'm just looking for a red candle here, and if it's all red or all blue, it's higher probability. When you get smashed down like this, you just want to come in above these lows, you know, because yeah, it may spike around. So you get long here. Blue and climbing. Blue and climbing. Hey, you're welcome, Tim. Okay, as I started to say, see the sideways walk here? Not going to happen on this 30-minute candle, most likely. Although, you know, keep in mind, embrace all possibilities. Something can come out of nowhere at any time. But we're still working the top of that. Remember we put this in place back here last week. Popped out here. We've popped out here. And I'll leave you with the shot of the daily. $29.47, the historic intraday high, and $29.40 and a quarter, the historic closing high. Even if we don't take out this intraday spike, we could very well close above. Now on the SPX, the cash index, which you can't buy or sell. That's why futures were created, so you could buy or sell it. It's like this closing high here on the S&P cash index, 29.67. Yeah. Closed at 29.67. And we're sitting at 29.33 right now on the cash index. Okay. Enough of that. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are. May God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.